So, sitting comfortably on your mat, whatever that looks like for you today, your legs can be crossed or they can be out in front. And today is Earth Day. So, we are going to connect with the earth. We're going to connect with our foundation. So, starting with your sits bones, feeling them rooting down into the earth, and then get your spine nice and long and getting your ears above your shoulders, maybe tipping your chin back a little bit so that your neck can be nice and long. Closing your eyes here, taking a moment or two to go inside, checking in with how your body is feeling today, and being gentle with any tension, any tight spots, any tenderness, only doing what feels right for you. And then connecting with your breath, our life force, feeling cool air flowing in, maybe letting out a sigh as you exhale. Feel the shoulders relax a little bit deeper towards the floor. And see if you can get your breath all the way down into your belly. Let's start by dropping our chin to our chest, letting the back of your neck rest, stretch out. Then we'll take a nice big circle with our nose, being gentle with any tender areas, noticing how your neck is feeling today. And then we'll move in the other direction, nice and slow. And coming back to center, we're going to come all the way down onto the floor. So really connecting with the earth. So you can have your knees bent and sending your feet out to the edges of your mat, letting your knees collapse in on each other, and then placing your hands on your stomach, coming back to your breath. And see if you can get your breath to go all the way down to your hands. Feeling your body supported by the floor, supported by Mother Earth. Maybe closing your eyes here and sending some gratitude to the earth for all that it does for you. And from here, let's take our knees over to the right and then bringing them back to center and then over to the left and back to center. And we'll go once more on each side, over to the right and back to center and over to the left and back to center. We'll bring our right knee into our chest. Let's stretch the left leg out, taking a moment, letting that knee come down towards your shoulder. Continue to breathe down into your lower abdomen. And then we'll switch legs. Let's bring the left knee in, right leg out. Taking a few breaths into your belly. And then we'll bring both knees in, wrapping your arms around your knees, and we'll rock from side to side, giving your back a massage using that support of the earth. And then we'll bring our feet down onto the mat, hands down by our sides. Let's take the right toes up to the ceiling and pointing and flexing your foot. See how those hamstrings are feeling today. And then with your foot flex, see if you can bring your toes a little closer towards your forehead. Getting that leg as straight as you can. And we're going to slowly lower this leg down to the count of 20. So nice and slow. Keeping your focus on your breath, making sure you're not holding it. Imagine somebody guiding that leg down. Nice and gentle. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Letting your heel touch the floor. And then we'll lift the leg up just an inch or so. We're going to take that whole leg and foot up and down. So small movements here. Maybe pulling your belly button in towards your spine. And then we'll take our heel and leg side to side, strengthening that deep muscle that keeps us standing upright like trees. And then we'll take the toes to the right. Let's go up and down on an angle. And then over to the left, up and down on an angle. Good. Letting that right leg rest back down. Let's stretch the left leg out, noticing how the right side feels compared to the left. Maybe reaching your arms up overhead, taking a nice big full belly breath in. Letting out a sigh, nice good morning stretch. And then we'll let the arms float back down by our sides and bend both knees again. This time, let's take the left foot to the ceiling, flexing and pointing your toes. Noticing how this side feels. And then with your foot flexed, maybe bringing your toes towards your forehead. Breathing into any tight spots. We'll slowly lower this nice straight leg down. Maybe bringing your navel towards your spine, engaging your core. Keeping that lower back connected to the earth. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Letting your heel touch the floor. And then lift your leg up. Let's take it up and down, small movements. Pulling that navel towards your spine, keeping your breath flowing. And then we'll take our leg and heel side to side, just a few inches either side. keeping your leg a few inches off the floor. And then letting your toes go towards the left. And we'll take that leg up and down on an angle. Again, small movements, targeting that deep muscle in your left hip. And then taking your toes over to the right, we'll go up and down on an angle. Beautiful. Letting your heel rest down. Let's stretch the other leg out. Make sure both sides feel nice and even here. And then we'll bring our knees into the chest, maybe placing our hands underneath the knees, and maybe rocking forward and back a few times, giving your back a little massage. And then we'll come back up into our seated position, sitting up tall, bringing your fingers to the earth, connecting with that earth energy today. And let's inhale, reach the arms all the way up, and then exhale them all the way back down. Inhale up, and exhale down. Beautiful. Let's do one more. Inhale and exhale. Letting your fingers rest on your mat. We'll take the left arm, reaching it up and bringing it over to the right. Coming into a nice side body stretch. Keeping both sits bones nice and firmly planted into the earth like roots, rooting down. And then we'll come back to center. Let's reach the right arm up to the ceiling and coming over to your left. Right hip stays heavy. And then back to center. Beautiful. Let's take the left hand to that right knee. We'll take the right hand behind us and looking over your right shoulder. Again, keeping your roots down on the earth, twisting from the shoulders, breathing down into your lower belly. And then we'll come back to center. Let's take the right hand to the left knee, left hand behind, twisting from your upper body, shoulders, head, breathing down into your belly. And then coming back to center. Let's bring both hands onto our knees. We're going to take a nice big circle. So like you're stirring a big pot of soup. Feeling those sits bones on the mat. And then going in the other direction as you move forward, you're inhaling. As you move back, you're exhaling. Beautiful. Coming back to center. And let's come on to our hands and knees. Getting ourselves into a table position. So wrists are underneath the shoulders. You want your fingers to be nice and wide, so you're really holding on to that earth. Maybe the pointer finger is facing to the top of the mat, and having your knees underneath your hips, coming into this beautiful table position, feeling nice and solid. And then we'll do some cat-cows here. So as you exhale, rounding your back up towards the ceiling. And then as you inhale, we'll sink the belly down, Head and tailbone back up. Moving with your breath a few times back and forth. Getting that spine to be nice and fluid. Beautiful. And then coming back to a neutral spine, we'll take our knees a little further apart, bringing the toes together and letting your hips rest onto your heels. You can either stack your fists in order to get your head down, or bring your head all the way down to the mat, wherever you're at today, connecting that forehead with the ground. Taking a few moments to breathe all the way up the back body. Great pose if you're ever feeling anxious, need to calm down. And then we'll slowly bring ourselves back up into our table position. Get your knees back underneath your hips, wrists back under your shoulders. Let's curl the toes under and we'll bring our hips up towards the ceiling. So you can bend your knees still, having your head in between your arms, and then maybe straighten one leg and then the other, taking your time here, making sure that it feels right for you. And then we'll bring both heels towards the mat, hips up towards the ceiling, head relaxing, maybe shaking it back and forth. And then let's take our feet and slowly and gently walk towards the hands, coming into our forward fold here. Maybe bend your knees a little bit if your back is tender. Maybe grabbing hold of your elbows and swaying from side to side. Nice and gentle, like a rag doll. Imagine somebody holding you up by your hips. Good. Coming back to center, let's uncross the arms, bend the knees nice and generous, and slowly and gently making your way up to standing. Keeping your chin tucked until you're feeling stable. And we'll come into mountain pose. So let's rock back and forth on our feet, just so that we can connect with those feet. And then settling into stillness. Maybe see if you can lift your toes and maybe set one toe down at a time. See if you can get some space in between each of those toes so you're really connecting with the earth. And then bend your knees a little bit. We're going to straighten the knees up over the ankles. Hips are over those knees. Shoulders roll down and are over your hips. And then the ears come over the shoulders. So close your eyes here. Taking a moment to feel all nicely stacked up like a mountain. So when everything is stacked like this, your body doesn't have to work as hard. It's good to remind yourself while you're waiting in line at the grocery store to come into mountain pose, standing nice and tall. And then bringing your hands to your lower abdomen. See if we can bring that breath back into our hands again. Breathing fully and easily. connecting with your life force. And then from here, let's take those hands and stretch them all the way up to the ceiling, bringing the palms together and then back down to our heart. Beautiful. Let's do that again. Inhale, reaching up, and exhale to our heart. Nice. Once more, reaching up. This time, let's hold the arms up there and grab hold of your left wrist. Keeping your feet nice and solid, we're going to lean over towards the right. So nice solid foundation. And just moving from your waist over to your hand. And then coming back up, let's take hold of the other side, coming over. Nice solid foundation. Beautiful. And then back to center, letting your arms float back down towards the floor, towards the earth. Nice. And let's inhale, reaching up, bringing the palms together, and we'll slowly hinge over the hips, coming all the way down towards the floor. Taking a breath here, and then bend your knees, rolling back up, keeping your chin tucked. Shoulders roll back, head comes up, and inhale, reaching up. Exhale, folding down. Bending your knees, rolling back up. Shoulders roll back, and inhale, up. Exhale, fold. And we'll stay here in our forward fold, letting our hands relax down, hips up towards the ceiling, taking a few breaths. We're going to take our right leg and stretch it back, bringing that right knee down to the mat, coming into our low lunge. So again, connecting with your left foot, getting your left knee in your armpit if you can. Hands, you can have your fingers on the floor or your flat palms or even your fists, whatever works for you. If you need a little more height, you can always get a book or something to help you. And just sinking in a little bit deeper into your hips, maybe lifting your nose up towards the ceiling. Breathing back down into your belly. And then we'll walk our fingers back, straightening out that left leg, bringing your nose down towards your knee. Feeling a nice stretch along those hamstrings. And then we'll walk the fingers forward again. Let's curl the back toe, lifting that knee up. We're going to plant the right hand onto the mat and send the left arm up to the ceiling. Feeling nice and strong here. And then placing that left hand back to the mat, we'll rock the back foot forward and folding back over our hips. Let's bend the knees and roll ourselves back up into our mountain pose, shoulders back, head up. Inhale, reaching up, and exhale, folding back down. Staying in our forward fold here for a breath or two. And then we'll bring the left foot back, knee down to the floor, sinking into your hips, feeling that right foot nice and solid, getting your right knee into your armpit, letting your hips relax, and maybe looking up, breathing down into your lower belly. And then we'll walk the fingers back, straightening out that right leg, nose coming towards the knee. Taking a couple breaths. And then walking your hands forward. Let's curl the back toe, lifting that knee up. Left hand is planted on the floor, reaching the right arm up to the ceiling. Nice and strong, feeling that connection to the earth with your hand and your foot. And then we'll bring that right hand back down and rocking that left foot forward, folding back over your hips. Let's bend the knees and rolling back up to stand. Shoulders roll back and down. Taking a moment, coming back into your mountain pose, stacking everything up nice and tall, feeling those feet connecting to the earth, breathing all the way down into your belly. And then from here, we're going to come into our mountain pose. So let's use the right leg as our standing leg, bringing the hands back to your abdomen just below your belly button. This is our center of gravity, our heart center. So if you're ever feeling a little out of balance, just bringing your hands here will help to give you a little bit more balance. So the right leg is our standing leg. We're going to slowly bring the left heel off the floor. Maybe you can open up that knee and set the left foot onto your right leg somewhere. It can be down by your ankle or your shin, maybe even up a little higher if you're feeling it today. Feeling nice and solid in that right leg. Imagine roots are rooting down into the earth. And like the tree, let's take the arms and reach them up like beautiful tree branches, keeping your spine nice and long. Beautiful. And then we'll bring the palms together. Let's release that, taking that left leg down, just giving your legs a little shake. And we'll get ready to do the other side. So left leg is our standing leg. Remember this center of gravity here with your hands just below your belly button. Finding maybe a spot that you can gently gaze at. And when you're ready, we'll lift the right heel up, opening up that knee, maybe placing your foot on your leg somewhere, wherever it needs to go for you today. You can help it out. So feeling the left side rooting down. Getting your spine nice and long. Taking a few moments to breathe into your hands. And then when you're ready, you can reach the arms all the way up to the sky like beautiful tree branches. Nice. And then bring your hands back down. We'll release that right leg, giving it a little shake. And let's come all the way down onto the floor, bringing your feet together. And we're going to give these tender tootsies a little massage. So just massaging your toes, massaging around your big toe. I find that is usually quite tender. And around all the other toes. And maybe down the balls of your feet, down the arches, all the way down to your heels. Just connecting with your own foundation. Our feet do so much for us. And then we'll just wrap the hands around the toes and slowly bringing our nose down towards those toes. Allowing your head to relax, not pushing or pulling here. Breathing all the way up the back body. And then we'll slowly come back up. Let's bring the knees up with us and wrapping your arms around your knees. See if you can grab hold of your elbows and just letting your head come down towards your knees. And then we'll come back up. Let's stretch the legs out in front of us, giving them a little wiggle, maybe pointing and flexing your feet, maybe even taking those ankles into a circle, and then the other direction. And we'll bring the right leg in, letting that right knee rest out. We're going to reach all the way up to the ceiling and then folding forward. Inhale, reaching up, and exhale, fold. So moving with your breath, nice and steady and fluid. And the next time you fold over your leg, just hanging out here wherever you end up with your hands. Letting yourself take a few breaths. And then we'll slowly come back up. Let's bring the right knee up with us and crossing that right leg over the left. So feeling both sits bones still nicely rooted onto the floor. We'll come into a spinal twist here. So left hand is going to hug that right knee. Right hand is going to come behind and looking over your right shoulder. So sitting up nice and tall, chest expanding. Breathing back down into your belly. Imagining your sits bones rooting down into the earth. And then slowly unwind. Let's stretch that right leg out and we'll bring the left leg in, letting that left knee relax. And then we'll reach the arms up to the ceiling and exhale, fold. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, fold. Moving nice and fluid with your breath. And the next time you fold forward, just taking a few breaths here. And then we'll roll back up. Let's bring that left knee up with us and crossing that leg over. We'll bring the right arm around, hugging the knee in, left arm behind, keeping your rooting down in those sits bones. Chest expanding, breathing fully. And then slowly unwind and stretch that leg back out. Give it a little shake. And we'll ease our way back down onto the mat, connecting again with that beautiful support. Having your knees bent and maybe lift your hips a little bit and then set them back down. Feeling your spine nice and long. Setting your feet up so that your heels are underneath your knees. Hands are on either side of your body. Connecting with your breath. And as you exhale, let's push into the heels, lifting the hips up. Feeling that connection with your feet and making sure that your neck feels okay as you hold your hips up here. Keeping your knees hip width apart. Breathing all the way down into your belly. And then very slowly, we're going to lower ourselves all the way down, just feeling each of those little bones touching the mat. Nice. And then bringing your right knee into your chest, sending your left leg out. And let's slowly bring our nose up towards that right knee. Taking a breath here and then lowering your head back down. We'll switch our legs, bringing the left knee in, right leg out. And then maybe bringing your nose towards that left knee. Taking a couple breaths here. And then lowering it back down. Bringing both knees back into your chest. Bringing the head up to the knees and lowering back down. We'll bring our feet back down to the floor. We're going to stretch the arms back out into a T shape. And we'll lift the hips and send them over to the left just an inch or so that our spine stays nice and long on the mat. And then let your knees float down to the right, coming into a spinal twist. Shoulders stay resting on the mat. And then you can let your head go over to the left. Breathing all the way down the length of your spine. As you exhale, letting go, allowing your back to relax and to unlock. Then bringing your head, your knees back to center, lifting your hips so your spine can be nice and long. And we'll get ready to do the other side so the hips can come a little bit over to the right, letting your knees come down to the left, head to the right, shoulders relaxed. Breathing all the way down the length of your spine. And just letting go. Feeling the support of the earth. And then bringing your head and your knees back to center. Lift your hips so your spine can be nice and long on your mat. We'll place a hand on each knee and taking the knees into a circle one way and then the other. Maybe taking your knees in different directions. And then the other direction. Moving any way that feels good for you. Maybe bringing the knees in for a final hug. And then we'll stretch our legs out nice and long on the mat, taking up lots of room. Arms resting by your sides, palms facing up. Feeling the beautiful support of the floor. Feeling the loving embrace of Mother Earth. Feeling cool air flowing in. Warm air flowing back out. Feeling all that wonderful energy flowing through your body. From the tips of your toes, the tips of your fingers, all the way to the top of your head. Taking this opportunity to rest and digest all of the poses today. And today's meditative poem while you're here is called Green. It is a green world, lush and damp, drops of water poised on grass blades, some leaves large as dinner plates. To describe the scene, I need more words for green. There must be tropical tongue, words sprouting from the depths of rainforests, languages rich with more verdant imagery than English, It is a green world, chartreuse, jade, and olive mix in a vista like tossed salad, cucumber, emerald, lime, the deep, satisfying green of pea vines, the blue-green of pines in shadow, the pale green of early apples favored by the deer. Green was the first thought I had this morning when I opened my eyes and looked outside. So just taking a full breath back into your belly, beginning to wiggle your fingers and toes. Bringing yourself back up to a seated position. And we'll bring our hands together at our heart center, taking a collective breath in through the nose and out through the mouth, breathing in and out. Beautiful. May you all have a very green, earthly day. Namaste.